America analyst with Global Voices, and he joins us now via Skype from Rio de Janeiro. Robert, it seems tensions are escalating. In your mind, what happens next?
Well, the conversations that are taking place in Montevideo, these are calls for new elections, but definitely there's a stalemate between the opposition and the Maduro government. I think what we all want is free elections, not a single drop of blood on the streets of Venezuela. But I'm afraid this is not going to be an easy exit. While Maduro doesn't want elections because in his mind, he won fair elections last year, Guaido believes that a new dialogue, a new conversation, a new talk around, both the opposition and the government will mean more repression and more authoritarianism from the Maduro government. So unfortunately, this is not going to be it's not going to pave the way for something that will avoid more violence on the streets and an easy way out of this government. Unfortunately, I don't see something happening right now.
Robert, as you say, this regional bloc has been meeting in Uruguay. Are you optimistic they can actually do anything to resolve this? They're talking about a technical mission. How much impact might that have?
I think the only way for this to be resolved is to have the international community agreed, and both, and now as the Maduro administration as well, both parties should agree to have a free election. But unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing right now. Guaido, as I mentioned, he refuses to sit down with the government because he believes that there will be more arrests of opposition leaders, including himself. I think the only solution here is to have free elections, just like we have seen, for example, if we had to compare, let's look at what happened in Chile in 1988 when Augusto Pinochet agreed to have a referendum that ultimately won. The no won in 1988, meaning that the Pinochet regime was finished. But as we have mentioned in past editions, Maduro will not leave power that easily.
Robert, how much support remains for Maduro in the country? The military still supports him, and they're on the border blocking aid convoys.
Well, there's still support among the military. However, there are some members of the military overseas who have expressed support for Maduro. Now, let's look at what's going on at the border between Colombia and Venezuela when we're seeing trucks carrying food. Now, we are talking about a serious humanitarian crisis in Venezuela. We understand that the government is supposed to open borders or allow international help according to international law. However, here's the possible scenario that Nicolás Maduro should consider. If any of the people in Venezuela die of serious diseases that could have been prevented with international help, he would be liable of those debts. And I think Maduro, given the current situation, he doesn't want to be held accountable for the debts of Venezuelans because he could be tried in an international court. I think if he were smart enough, he should allow these aid to come into Venezuela because there's a serious situation, let alone 3 million people have left Venezuela because of a humanitarian crisis and the scarcity of food, medicine, and other goods.
Robert Valencia there, a Latin America analyst. Thank you so much for your insights, Robert.
Thank you very much.